Ruth is an organization sort of dream employee or volunteer, if you will. She's engaging, she's exciting to be with, she's compassionate and caring. She puts on a fantastic class. She's wonderful because she's been here forever and she has a real passion, care and concern and desire to work and be a part of an organization that runs on volunteers.
I started teaching swimming when I was in high school at a YMCA pool. And when I got out of high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I looked for a job and I found a job at the Y. I worked full-time as a lifeguard and I became the head lifeguard at the downtown YMCA. That's how I began volunteering, because after work, I would go up to the gym to work out and they encouraged me to become a fitness instructor. One of my supervisors, his name was Rob Anderson, encouraged me to go to university. I was actually offered a promotion to manage one of the pools for the Y that the Y was going to be taking over. I was so excited and honored that I could take on this new role and added responsibility. I was only 20 years old. It was a great big deal for me. And he said, "I don't think you should do it." And I was so surprised. He said that there will always be these kind of opportunities out there for you, but you should take the time that you have now to pursue your education. So not only did I go to university, but I went with the support and backing of the Y. I was called a fellowship student, so I had a scholarship for all 4 years of my degree at the university from the Y. When I graduated, I started working for the Y. I worked in an employment program. I had incredible bosses and mentors. I needed to take a little break and explore and go do some traveling and do some other things, and they said, "The Y will always be here, so go and do that and have an adventure and take some time and go." Because of that, I feel completely indebted to the Y, and as long as I'm able, I want to volunteer for the Y. There are such incredible people that come to work out here, that teach here and volunteer here, that work here. I feel honored to be receiving this award. Wendy McCormick is the one that nominated me, and she is one of the best staff I've ever worked with at the Y in 35 years. She is bright and energetic and enthusiastic. She motivates us and she keeps us all going. She encourages us. She keeps us trying new things and adding new classes, and it is just one of the greatest joys about being at the Y is getting to work with people like Wendy. And the people that come to our class every week are so motivated and engaged. It's one of the things that I love most about the Y is the people.
Ruth is a stroke victim and she has recovered beautifully from it. I know that I think the first time she told me was in between a class, and I was really surprised because I was expecting her to have more external signs. She used her classes as therapy, not only for herself, but to reach out to the community as well. And you wouldn't know at all by looking at her that she's had a stroke. So she's inspirational to the participants in her class. She also volunteers with the group, I believe, that she did her rehab with. And that's a big part of who she is as well.
So 4 years ago, I got up one morning. I was 49 years old and I was unable to speak. I couldn't walk very well. I was having a stroke. It was completely unwelcome and out of the blue. I felt like I was in pretty decent shape and I didn't have any health problems. It was completely something that I never expected in my life to experience, and it was very humbling. I was unable to speak very well. It affected my memory. My balance was completely shot. I was very weak. I had paralysis on the left side of my body and all of the classic stroke symptoms. And it took me a long time to rehabilitate. I'd been here at the YMCA volunteering for 31 years and I didn't feel like it was going to be the time in my life that I should stop. I knew physically I wasn't able because of the way that the stroke affected me, but I knew that if I worked hard at it, I would be able to get there. And it was only a year later, I slipped back into the pool one day, and everybody welcomed me back just like I'd never been gone. A lot of them didn't even know what happened, and it didn't matter, but it felt so good to be back doing things that I was able to before. I worked for almost 25 years with big brothers and big sisters, and I had to stop working when I had the stroke. And it was really devastating for me. It was a significant change in my life, and I always saw myself retiring there. I was never going to work anywhere else. I loved my job. I loved the work that I did with that organization. My co-workers and the volunteers in that organization were important to me, and as was the Y important to me. And it was so significant in my rehabilitation. It really helped me to improve my strength and to get stronger. And so I tell people in my classes all the time that if they have challenges with their health, here's my story. And if you have challenges, then work through yours, because I did, and you can too.
So Ruth has been a leader among our instructors as a mentor as well. She's got vast years of experience with all different groups of individuals that use our facility, whether it's seniors, young moms with babies, and everybody in between. There's things that you can't teach somebody. They just either they have it or they don't, and she's got that. She's got that willingness and desire to serve, and the compassion and caring that if you don't have that as an instructor, it shows. And people want to feel connected. They want to know that they're important when they come into a class. Like, does anybody care if I'm not here? And Ruth does care. She knows, she gets to know her participants by name, knows what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, where they may need help or extra support. And she works that into every class so that there's something for everyone and everyone can be successful.
One of the things I enjoy most about being at the Y is there's always a new challenge and there's new opportunities around every corner. I started teaching a new class that I'd never taught before for babies and mums. It's an aquasize class, and it's the most fun I've had in a long time. 15 or 20 mums would hop into the pool to do an aquasize workout, and they'd bring their babies with them in a little boat. The babies were the most fun ever. They would wave at you and smile and kick and scream, and there was one little boy that started blowing kisses to me every week. And let me tell you, that was the best motivation as an instructor to get back in that pool. Again, Wendy encouraged me to try something different and gave me the little nudge that I needed to start teaching that class. So I was really grateful for that opportunity to stretch, to try something new in the last year and do something that was so much fun. It was wonderful.
Somebody's desire and passion to teach is something that you can't train them. It's either there or it's not, and Ruth has got that. She's a busy mom. She could be spending her time in a million other places, but she chooses to be at the Y. And that's something that it's important to you or it's not. And she has demonstrated that year after year, that this is a place where she feels important and what she does here matters.
I am so grateful for my parents, because they taught me the value of volunteering. They always gave back in their community. Whenever anybody needed a hand, my mom and dad always stepped up to help. And so I hope that my own kids today understand, by watching their mom volunteer at the Y, that they will have a lifelong commitment to volunteering themselves. I've talked about some of the people that I'd met at the Y and how special and important they were. One of the most important people in my life is my husband, Grant, and I met him when I was working at the YMCA. There was a social event and one of our friends brought him to a party, and that's the very first time I ever met my husband. So actually I feel like the Y is partly responsible for that part of my journey as well, and I'm so grateful because I have an amazing husband who's been supportive. The volunteers that I work with here are incredible people, and it's a privilege to show up every week people in my class are so motivated and wonderful, and it's a great place to be. So I'm happy to be here every week. Thank you for this opportunity.